Hi, I'm Erich Bradley, winemaker for Sojourn Cellars. Today I'm here to taste through and talk about our 2016 fall release. We've got 9 wines, a couple of Chardonnays, a whole bunch of Pinots, and a few Cabs from the 2013 vintage. The Chards and Pinots are from 2014. So let's get started. 2014 was an exceptional vintage in Sonoma for both Pinot and Chardonnay. Growing conditions were just ideal. We had nice, mild conditions all summer. And then during the fall, we had no early rain, so we were able to pick at optimal ripeness across the board. 2014 Gaps Crown Chardonnay. This is our first release of a Gaps Crown Chardonnay. We've been working with this vineyard since 2007 on the Pinot side. I'm very excited to add Chardonnay to the mix from here. It's a really special site. There's a lot of rock. There's some elevation to it, so you get a leanness to this Chardonnay that makes it really attractive to people who want something that's good with food, that has some tension, it's focused, persistent, all the things that I really love about white wine when it's at its best, and balance more than anything else. There's French oak here, but it's secondary. I want it to be there to frame and sweeten the overall flavor profile without masking any of the things that we like best about the wine, which again is its minerality. (2014) Durell Vineyard Chardonnay. This is our third release of a Durell Chardonnay. We're really lucky to be getting this fruit. There's a richness, a broad middle to these wines. There's acidity here, thanks to 2014 as a vintage. 2014 is about as good as I think Sonoma can do with Chardonnay. 2014 Pinot Noir. We have 5 wines that we're going to taste. As with Chardonnay, 2014 was pretty extraordinary growing conditions for Pinot Noir in Sonoma. In all parts of Sonoma, mild but dry. We were able to pick it just perfect ripeness across the board. One of the things that differentiates our fall release at Sojourn from our spring release is these wines are focused on the Russian River Valley and on the West Sonoma coast. These are also our smaller production lots for Pinot Noir. We're going to start with our Russian River Valley Appellation Pinot. This is an incredible value in our lineup. At $42 retail, we think it's tough to beat out there in the marketplace. There are 3 vineyards that predominantly make this wine up. Riddle, Wohler, and then something new to the lineup, Pratt, that only goes into this wine. And Pratt, which is also called Sexton Vineyard on Sexton Road out in Sebastopol, maybe our coolest vineyard in terms of temperature. Across a variety of clones, and it adds a nice bit of acidity to this blend. It's still luscious, it's still earthy and deep. There's great ripeness, but that acidity from Sexton Pratt really, brings the wine back into focus and makes it great, whether you want to drink it on its own or pair it with some food. (2014) Wohler Vineyard. This is a fan favorite. We've been doing Wohler single vineyard bottling since 2009, and I think they get better every year. The 14 is my favorite of all the wines that we've released from this vineyard over the years, which is in Forestville, right in the heart of what's traditionally known as the Russian River Valley. This wine itself, it's earthy, it's ripe, the tannins are really luscious but prominent. There's acidity there that balances everything out, but it's really a crowd-pleasing style of Pinot Noir, and one in which we're really happy that we can continue to improve upon it. It's distinctive in the lineup in that regard. Spicy, long, luscious. This is my favorite Wohler that we've ever done. 2014 Riddle Vineyard. This is our inaugural release of a single vineyard bottling from the Riddle Vineyard. The clonal mix on this wine is interesting. What makes this one different is that we also have the Mount Eden clone, which is not widely planted in Sonoma County anymore. So really gives it an interesting spin. It makes it distinctive from the other wines in the lineup. The location of this vineyard is at the top of the Harrison Grade. So you get a lot of Pacific influence up there, so it's very cold. Sometimes you're above the fog, so you get a lot of sunlight that helps us get the fruit ripe, but the cooler temperatures also help retain acidity that make this really interesting single vineyard proposition for us. The flavor profile is very consistent with that West Sonoma County red cherry, nice acidity, silky tannins, just really, really wonderful representation of New World Pinot Noir. 2014 Ruling Vineyard Pinot Noir. Really lucky to be working with this fruit. This is our second release from the Ruling Vineyard. Great Gold Ridge soils, really chalky, well draining. The clonal mix here is what's most distinctive about it. We got Calera mixed with a couple of different suitcase clones from Von Romanet that Marc Aubert brought over that make it really, really unique. We don't play with these clones anywhere else but here. I would say it's our most serious wine of the entire Sojourn Pinot lineup. And the 2014 vintage is no different. The savory, earthy aspects of this wine are really what define it. It's almost little hints of bacon fat that coat the mouth and give it aromatic complexity. It's dark, it's brooding, but the earthiness is going to make it just an incredible food wine. I would say on this one, don't buy by the bottle, buy by the case. 2014 Ridgetop Vineyard Pinot Noir. This is one of our flagships at this point. We've been doing a Ridgetop bottling since 2009. At elevation, there's a tropical blast that you get when you stick your nose in the glass on this. The clonal mix isn't that interesting. It's really the site. It's really susceptible to hanging deep into the season, which is where all those tropical elements we think come from. The texture of this wine is smooth and silky. It's really elegant, feminine, refined, crowd-pleasing, all those things that we like in Pinot Noir. And there's a sex appeal, I think, to this wine that kind of makes it distinctive from the lineup. 2013 Napa Valley Cab. We've got two to taste. 2013 as a vintage, as perfect as it gets for Cab around here. Warm, early, not too warm. So there's acidity, there's round, luscious tannins that provide a lot of length and structure across all the 2013s. It may be the single best vintage of any that I've ever worked with for Cabernet, going back to the late 90s. Our 2013 Oakville Appellation wine. This wine's really about value. We source fruit from Oakville Ranch as well as a vineyard over on Skillinger Road for this. Really surrounded by legendary vineyards on every side of us for both of these vineyards. And to be able to offer a Cabernet at $69 retail is pretty unusual from this neighborhood. Red volcanic dirt kind of runs through the entire appellation. Great intensity, cocoa, milk chocolate, dark chocolate, great round, elegant tannins. It's refined, it's age-worthy, you can drink it young, you can hang on to it it's as forgiving as Cabernet, I think, can be. 2013 proprietary cuvee Cabernet. This is as good as it gets for Cabernet from Sojourn. This is a blend of Oakville Ranch that's up on a hillside, right in the heart of the Oakville appellation. Great red volcanic soils. This is farmed by Phil Couturi, owned by Mary Miner. We share this vineyard with a who's who of Napa Cabernet producers. Then we blend in some Beckstoffer George III from Rutherford, get that Rutherford dust. Get a lot of fruit from the valley floor, intensity from the hillside. This is that balancing act that I think really frames Napa Valley Cabernet in the best possible light. Only 150 cases produced. This is the best of the best for us. This is a guilty pleasure. One you can crack, hopefully, anytime with anyone and walk away feeling like you made the best possible impression. Well, that is the 2016 fall release for Sojourn. Thank you for your attention and for your support on behalf of Craig and Ellen Hasro, Randy Bennett, and the entire Sojourn team. We really appreciate your support, and cheers.